What's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's been doing great. I hope everybody's been striving, striving to be the best version of themselves, the version of themselves that they truly want to be, and in the same way, balancing that out with not rejecting yourself. I've been thinking a lot this week. These past 2 weeks were very heavy in thought. I definitely was thinking a lot. And it's funny because I caught myself a couple times thinking to myself like, "Oh, you're not thinking enough." But I was. I was thinking enough. It's a matter of awareness, becoming more aware, and not even just becoming more aware, but becoming more present and being here in this moment now and not off in the clouds thinking about the future. I don't think about the past. I'm not the type of person that like it's that's just not in my program. I don't think about the past. I reflect here and there, yeah, but look, what's done is done. All right, I don't go back. I don't dwell on shit. I don't regret anything. What's done is done, and everything happens the exact way it's supposed to. Gotta remember, it's not our timing. It's all on God's timing. Something I've been thinking about very heavily was same shit as always. It's being genuine and not expecting things and not assuming things. And I was really thinking about how people give things and expect things back. If you give and expect, you might as well not give because it just shows way too much bad character. There's no point. Like, why are you even giving? Nobody wants something from somebody that expects this and that back. All right, it's just the truth. And if you really want something back, if you want something back, you make that shit clear. You be a fucking man and you make that shit clear. It's the one thing about a lot of people on this earth, I would say about a lot of young men right now, is that they're not clear. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I, I think maybe it could be like this random like this type of desire where people kind of just want to be perceived as mysterious and shit, and so they don't really take the time to really clarify on things. They kind of just throw things in the air and let everyone else figure it out. But the thing is, nobody else will figure it out, and you'll end up just building resentment for your own self, thinking that you're misunderstood. You're gonna call yourself misunderstood. No one is misunderstood. That is one of the biggest illusions of self. No one on this earth is misunderstood. Being misunderstood is just a result of your inability to express yourself accurately and authentically. You gotta get better at expressing yourself. All right, and if you don't want to express yourself clearly and like really clarify on things, then motherfucker, you might as well just not express yourself, or just don't get mad at people. All right, don't get mad at people for not understanding you, because that's 100% on you. A lot, everything in this life is really on you. Everything in this life, everything in your life is on you. You gotta remember. All right, it's everything is heavily rooted in the way we respond. All right, so you have to just get better at responding to life, to responding to everything. It's in the way that we respond to all things that will liberate you from your own suffering, because you don't have to suffer. Pain is pain. We'll always feel pain, but suffering is optional. And if you ever feel like you need anything, just know this, right? If you need anything, you've already lost. You don't need a single thing at all. You just need yourself and God. That's about it. Literally, that's about it. And it's fucked up. It gets dark. It gets dark when you really think about it, because no, you don't need your parents. No, you don't need your family. No, you don't need your friends. No, you don't need anybody. And it's not to say fuck them. You can do it by yourself, because you can. Or maybe you can't. But maybe you shouldn't. If you have the help there, take it. Take advantage. Or you're just going to take disadvantage. And it's not always about taking advantage, because then that just gets ignorant. That just gets very ignorant. A lot in this life gets really complicated, and The truth is, it's not really complicated. Nothing in this life is really complicated. Everything is actually simple and can be very much simple and straightforward. But it's our own human egos that will complicate things. And we just have to become more aware about that and just try to change things. Try to become more patient. That's really the key right there. You want to know what's the best way to respond to all things in life? It's with patience. You'll soon come to find out in this life that there is no point in rushing anything. There's no point in not having patience, because let's say you get frustrated with somebody, right? Let's say you get frustrated, right? And you run out of patience. You're not running out of patience with anyone but yourself. You're running out of patience with your own ability to endure. And the truth is, you can endure. You can endure a lot. You can endure everything. I believe in you. You can do it. You can do any and everything you put your mind to. But you gotta just stop taking the shit so personal. Because it's not personal. Nothing in this life is personal. I forgot what the word is. I don't think it's Sonder. It's some shit like that, right? But there's a word for it. I don't fucking know. I'll put it up on the screen. But what we all have to realize is that everyone is going through their own lives, and on top of that, everyone is going through virtually the same shit that you are, because everyone is trying to just get better. You know, it's almost like it's in human nature. It's just human nature to get better and to improve your own self, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. That's just how it is. So you can't be taking anything personal, really. Like, there's really no point to take shit personal. Look, yeah, some shit you will feel that shit in your heart and you will take it personal. And I'm not saying just don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? You definitely got to care about yourself. If somebody tries to step all over you, what you got to do is you got to stand. You got to stand up and you got to be like, yo, stop playing with me. It sucks. It sucks sometimes to have to correct people, because you deep down you kind of wish that, like, okay, I wish I didn't have to correct you. I wish you already knew better. But not everyone knows better. Not everybody was led down the same path as you. Not everybody was gifted the same wisdom as you. Some people had parents, some people didn't. Some people had role models, some people didn't. Some people had role models and still turned out for the worst. Some people had role models and turned out for the best. Some people had no role models and turned out for the worst. And some people had no role models and you would think that they did. That's just how it is. Because you can't. Look, we to a certain extent, yes, we are a product of our environment and a product of what we've been around our entire lives. But you can't just like hang on to that as an excuse, because that's exactly what it is. It's just an excuse. It's an excuse for all your wrongdoings, and it's an excuse for all your what's the word? It's an excuse for all the disrespect that you express. You're 100% responsible for your entire life, and I will stand by that to the end of days. You know, something I think that everybody should do to help themselves just become better and to stay conscious about their intentions on their life is affirmation. I think you should talk to yourself. You should definitely look in the mirror, look in your eyes, look deeply in your eyes, and just tell yourself what you need to hear. Remind yourself of things that you forget. You know, you might be thinking about them, but are you moving like if you're thinking about them? You gotta actually speak to yourself, all right? Because it's one thing. Look, it's one thing to just think about something. It's another to operate from that intention. And you gotta do it consciously. You can't just think that the work is just gonna be done subconsciously. Like, all right, yeah, a lot of it will be, but a lot of it won't. And on top of that, the subconscious working in your favor, it won't happen without you taking the first hard steps of actually doing it consciously. So you gotta just do it. You gotta do the shit that you don't like, man. You gotta look in the mirror and you gotta be like, look, bro, you've been being a bitch. Or you gotta look in the mirror like, yo, look, I get it. But it's time to be more patient. And it's time to really stand and move and walk and speak like if you truly are what you say you are, what you think you are. I've been looking in the mirror every day now, and I've been looking at myself and telling myself, you are honorable. And not even you are honorable. I look at myself in the mirror and I tell myself, I am honor. What I am is honorable. And I really feel that shit. I really feel that shit in my soul. And I can just feel it every time I speak those words to myself. I stand different. I walk different. I speak different. I just embody what I'm supposed to be. I think there's a lot of power in honor. You got to build that relationship with yourself, right? It's not just going to happen just randomly. It's not going to happen. Like, you got to really acknowledge the fact that we're not just our mind, and we're not just this body, and we're not just this spirit. All right, we're actually like existing outside of all of it, operating within all of it, expressing ourselves through all of it. The mind, body, and soul, what is that? It's not you, it's your tools. But you can't treat them like tools. You gotta acknowledge the fact that they are your tools and they will help you, but you can't just treat yourself like a tool, because it's not you, but it is you. And you gotta exercise them. You gotta sharpen your tools. You got to. But you also gotta care for them. You gotta care for them almost intimately. Every relationship is intimate. That's some real shit that I've learned. All right, everything is intimate. Friendships are intimate. Lover, intimate. Everything intimate. Any relationship that you experience is intimate. Don't take the intimacy out of your own relationship with self. And if it's not there, then you gotta add it in. You gotta be like, yo, look, bro, I fuck with you. You really my mans. You gotta find the chemistry with your own self, and it's there. It's not that it's not there. It's not that you can't like identify it, or that you can't like figure it out. Like, why do I talk to myself like if I'm a brick fucking wall? It's because you think you're a brick wall. You're not a brick wall. You gotta change your perception on your own self, man. You gotta remember you're human. Look, one thing a lot of people talk about is the human ego and how it's sort of a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. What we are is humans with egos. And on top of that, you would think that your ego is probably the most arrogant, ignorant part of you, but it's not. Your ego is actually the most human part of you, because it takes things personal. It really feels shit. It really is like, why me? And why? Because you're human. So you gotta just acknowledge your own ego and build that relationship with your own ego, and in the way of like, all right, look, there's certain things that we kind of take personal, or not necessarily take personal, but there's certain things that we feel really strongly and really intensely, and a lot of them are bullshit. A lot of it is just like almost like nonsense, it's just like childish things, and those type of things you actually have to come to agreements with yourself and be like, okay, look, we can't be thinking like this, we can't be feeling like this, there's no point to this and that. But then there's a lot of shit that actually is valid. Like, yeah, bro, these people do be tripping and you still be around them all the time. Or, damn, bro, you are like, why don't we hang out with anybody? Like, why are we just always alone? Is that like it's like, I don't want to feel lonely, and then and like me specifically, right? I don't hang out with anybody. I live my life very, very closed, and for a long time I felt lonely this way, until one day I was just like, you know what? This isn't lonely. What this is peace. It's funny, right? Because we confuse a lot of things that really are peace, but we confuse it with a lot of other things, like boredom. What is boredom? Boredom is a moment of calmness, a moment of stillness. How the fuck is that boring? It's you that's making it boring. It really is. It really is just you. But a boring moment is a peaceful moment. So you gotta just shift your perspective on certain things, because certain things are actually not that, and they're actually this, and certain things are actually just whatever you decide it to be. So change your decision on it. You gotta realize that a lot of like our entire ego is built upon agreements with self, and these agreements can be changed. You can literally just be one day like, you know what? I don't agree with myself on that. That is some dumbass shit. And then you can also switch it up and be like, you know what? I want to be more like this. I agree with this. I feel this in my soul. This is what it's supposed to be, what I am supposed to be. You gotta have these conversations with yourself. Because who else is gonna have them? You're just gonna wait for somebody to tell you this? Then it's like almost like you're waiting for somebody else to grant you, you're almost waiting for somebody else to grant you permission. You don't have to wait on anybody. You can grant yourself permission. Because the funniest shit is that you already do have permission. We're all allowed to do whatever the fuck we want. We have free will. And because of that, we have to be fucking responsible. Because free will isn't just given to us for the fuck of it. It's given to us out of love. Free will is God's love. God doesn't demand us to live with him, to live by him. But he asks of it. And you don't have to be 100%. You don't have to be right there like the most righteous person ever. Because the truth is, it's hard. That is genuinely hard. Maybe you can do it. Maybe you can't. Whether you can or can't, no hard feelings. God understands. We're human. One thing about granting yourself permission is that there's layers of illusions that come in front of it before you can grant yourself permission. One of them is like almost feeling the need to have to explain yourself to people before you can actually grant yourself the permission to do this and that and be this and that and be yourself. You don't have to explain shit to anyone. You can one day just be like, fuck it, you know what? I know I've been this person to everybody else, but this is really me. I haven't been me my whole life, but this is me. And you don't have to explain it to anybody. You don't have to explain to people like, yeah, I was lying to you. That wasn't me. You don't have to explain that shit. Truth is, that was you. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, that was you. What's done is done, alright? Even if that's not who you truly are at the core, you became that. You expressed that. It is what it is. Keep moving forward and just become what you really are. You don't have to explain a single thing. You just have to remember that you're allowed. Because we get to be allowed. It's a gift. It's a gift. It really is. You're allowed to start over. You're allowed to start new. You're allowed to not give up. You're allowed to keep going. You're allowed to be the best. You're allowed to be the greatest. You're allowed to be yourself. You're allowed to be an asshole. Even though you probably shouldn't be. You're allowed to have hope. You're allowed to contradict your emotions. You don't have to operate from your emotions. You can separate yourself from them. Alright, you just gotta observe the feelings. Don't act so out of impulse. Really sit there and be like, this is just, like, what am I feeling? You gotta really decide on who you want to be and how you want to be. And then you'll just feel things on the sidelines, though. Like, it won't actually be like your ruling faculty. But it takes effort and it takes time and it takes willpower. You have to be willing. You have to be really fucking willing. And one thing you really have to be is willing. You have to be willing to sacrifice, alright? You do. You You gotta be willing to sacrifice your desires. All right, because the one thing is, if you're not willing to sacrifice your desires, it almost becomes a need. And when you need something, if you need something, you've already lost. Because you've already lost the sight of what actually matters. You don't need a single thing. You only need yourself, and you only need God. That's about it. I wrote some shit down the other day, some shit I was thinking about, and it was just like, I was really thinking about it. I'm like, what? What the fuck? Some affirmations that I've been giving myself. I'm just gonna actually like read down this list of affirmations that I've been affirming, right? It's, you don't have to explain yourself. You're allowed to think. Be what you must, and you don't have to wait, nor thank anyone, nothing. You are good, and that will make everyone else good too. This is me. The way I walk, the way I stand, the way I sit, the way I am. This is me. That's all you got, and we're good. You want to have a choice, so don't get angry at anyone. Just accept it and keep going. We always remember, and it's in the way you respond. Those have been my daily affirmations, and they've been helping me. They've been helping me a lot. And it's really been helping me a lot too, because it kind of points my mind in the direction that I want to think, and it helps relieve yourself of the unnecessary weights that we place on our shoulders. Because the truth is, we don't need to suffer. You don't need to suffer to progress. You don't need to boost your ego to progress. You don't need a single thing to progress. All you really need is the desire. What a fucking loophole, right? The only thing you need is desire, and it's genuine desire. And I mean, not just genuine desire, genuine burning desire. You gotta really feel that flame, man, and let that shit burn bright, super bright. Let that shit almost like so bright that it's dangerous. But don't burn yourself. That's the game. You gotta tiptoe, you gotta dance, you gotta balance. That's the whole game of life. It's really a dance. You gotta balance shit out. Now, if you really want to be the best self, the best version of yourself, you have to really ask the question of, what do you want? What do you want is the question. Not how do you feel, not anything else. It's what do you want? And you have to really see it, really see what you want. And right before that feeling hits, or if that feeling hits too quick, you're like, you know what? That as soon as you feel the feeling, as soon as you feel the complaint coming in, creeping into your mind, you gotta reaffirm to yourself and be like, yo, that wasn't the question. The question is, what do you want? Not how do you feel? And from there, you'll gain so much more self-control. One thing about this path, I would say, is it leads you to desire someone, something, mainly someone though. Like another person who can really get you, because on this path you won't find a lot of people that are really on the same wavelength. I think that's okay. I think it really doesn't even matter. At first I used to be really fucking bothered, and then feeling like I had nobody. That's just, I feel like that's an attack from something. I would call it an enemy, but it's an attack meant to distract you. That's one thing you can't get. You cannot get distracted. And don't let yourself be the cause of your own distraction, all right? And you know what's funny? You will always be the cause of your own distraction. You can never blame it on anyone else. But just don't get distracted. You gotta just find the willpower to be like, you know what? No, that's not what I want. You gotta really stand on it, man. You got to. No one else will for you. That's why you have to do it for your own self. And I believe it. I believe you can do it. I believe everybody can do it. I really hope to see a day when the world is more so in control of themselves than not. Because I feel like a lot of people are living this life in a battle with themselves. You can't contradict yourself, man. You can't lose. I have some shit to share with you guys, alright? I want to talk about procrastination. Now, I'm about to read to you guys a poem that I wrote. Listen to this right here. Procrastination. I can't really lose. I can only feel. Procrastination. Given the power of time, one can abuse it, saying 10 more minutes. In those 10 minutes, you're given the impression that you are free, but just for 10 minutes. There being a limit convinces you that just for a moment you are free, but you are not. It becomes a chess game. You give up one thing for another, but never give it all up in fear. Procrastination isn't waiting. It's the getting distracted during the wait. And if you really wait and don't get distracted, you get the greatest gift. The opportunity to do it genuinely and the right way. A clear conscience. True freedom. Procrastination holds self-love hostage and uses it against you as bait, so it can force you to believe you're a victim so you can hide and wait. It puts you in a position where it's your will or love, but the truth is it can be both. Forced in a position to wait, you have to find your will and write until you no longer have to wait. You won't be able to write about anything but the truth. Never forget, forever remember, as long as it takes. Procrastination is ignorantly playing God, waiting for the perfect moment, but it's not about what you want. Waiting helps no one. No one is safe. No one is truly helpless. No matter what happens, you're never without options. There is only one way. Truth. There is no truth to find. Where we turn our heads, we see the truth. It's not a matter of where, but why can't I see? Because we reject ourselves in belief. But in spirit, you don't need to see, just feel. I can't really lose. I can only feel. That right there helped me ultimately defeat procrastination. And it was a long fucking battle. Procrastination, that's one hell of a fucking demon. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I truly think that right there, that's a demon. There's certain what's the word, like vibrations, I would say emotions, not even emotions, but emotional states that I would say are actual demon like. And you have to fight them. You cannot let that shit consume you, because those are the greatest distractions. Another one is laziness. And you know they're tied in too. Procrastination and laziness, they're all tied in. All of them are tied in. They actually all help each other distract you. You gotta just spot them out. There's procrastination, there's laziness, there's lust. I don't know what else, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But there's a lot to it. Like, I gotta tell you guys, I gotta share this with you guys. Laziness is the only actual Matrix-like quality one can adopt. Everything else is actually just personality. Whether it's copy and paste or not, it's nothing compared to laziness. Purpose is the defeat of laziness. Purpose is greater than goals and motivation or anything of that sort. It's your reason for living, one greater than self. That's what you have to find to defeat all of it. Purpose. Purpose will always help you with this shit, man. And you know what's my purpose in this shit? You want to know what I truly believe my purpose in this shit is? I truly believe my purpose in this shit is no purpose. And that's fucking amazing, because guess what? Now, since I have no purpose, I get to decide. The truth is, none of us have a purpose. We're all just in this life, born for what could be no fucking reason, right? You know that's not true. You know, deep down that's not true. But that's what I tell myself to humble myself. But I've decided that what I want to be my purpose and what I truly feel in my core, in my center, what I feel like is really my purpose is to help people. And I'm not saying literally going out of my way to go help you in person. It's this right here. I'm sharing my wisdom. I'm young, but I have wisdom. A lot. I've went through a lot of suffering. I'm 19 years old. But you wouldn't think that because I've gone through so much that it's just my character has developed almost like at an accelerated rate. What I would think to be an accelerated rate, what I have been told to be an accelerated rate, to me, I feel like I'm normal. I'm just a normal guy. I'm just like everyone else, all right? But I was bestowed upon certain type of lessons in life that I didn't run from and I actually faced and I actually learned. And now I feel like I can help people by telling you these conclusions that I reached that actually are still helping me in my day-to-day life every day. This shit is all literally learning, conclusion, application, and proof of it working. I am right now in the best position I have ever been in my entire life. Every time something something in my life happens, it's never going back. It's like, and mentally I might think that. Maybe I might think that, oh shit, like I'm such a terrible state. I'm not as confident as I was then. Confidence doesn't fucking matter, bro. Look, it does and it doesn't, right? But you got to look at the reality of it. What is your life looking like? My life is looking a whole lot better than it was a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Shit, I remember sleeping on the floor. I got a bed, bro. Like, and you know what's funny? You know what's really fucking funny? I still like to sleep on the floor. I don't know why, but it takes me back. And it really and it constantly just reminds me, like, look, this is what it was at one point. And I love it. I love it, bro. I love it, bro, because it makes me humble myself, and I love feeling humble. I really do. I don't like feeling pride. I don't like feeling like this shit. I don't like feeling better than anyone else, because no one is like no one is worse than me. Truly, the worst is never the worst. That's one thing we all gotta really like acknowledge and accept, is that no one is no one is virtually better than anyone else. We're all unique. We are. That's some like, and it's funny because that's actually some like great shit, bro. Like, we're really all unique. No matter how hard you try to replicate somebody, copy and paste somebody, try to, you know what I'm saying, be someone else and you're not, there's still going to be little pieces of who you truly are that will leak through. You can't deny yourself. As hard as you try, you'll find that you actually can't. It's impossible. It really is. It really, really is. I want to share something else with you guys. This right here, I'm gonna start doing this because I write down a lot of shit, a lot of almost like poems, but it's also like real life shit. Like I'm just coming to realizations and accepting certain shit. But look, let me scroll back to a period of time in my life where everything was changing. And you know what's a really good reminder to always remember is that we can't lose a single thing. You know why? Because we don't own a single thing. None of this shit is ours. Everything is borrowed. Life is borrowed. We're gonna have to give it up at one point. We're all gonna die at one point. Yeah, that's the shit that nobody likes to think about, but it's the truth. And the funniest shit is, I love to think about it. You know why? Because it makes me more grateful. It makes me really enjoy my time. It makes me really become present, just knowing that I'm gonna die one day. I'm living my life expecting death. And I'm living it to the fullest because of that. I'm gonna tell you guys. Listen, this is some shit I wrote about expectations. All right, because this is when I was trying to learn how to stop expecting things. And I've gotten a pretty good grasp of it. Right, like I can cancel out a lot of my expectations and just have no expectations. But you know, I will find myself sometimes expecting some shit and I'll get disappointed, but I won't get mad because I'm like, fuck it, I'm disappointed, but that's my fault. You know, but listen, expectations drain energy. Expectations are not a bad thing though. They are what allows us to desire and to have a burning desire, motivation. If they give motivation energy, then why does it drain? It's not necessarily expectations that drain, but the heights of the expectations we have and the care to fulfill expectations that doesn't come from your own self. And that doesn't have to make you a bad person and not give a fuck about others, but that should make you learn when you should prioritize yourself over others. Have compassion, understand and be considerate for others, for we are all in this together. But sometimes minimizing from the bigger picture to a smaller, more in-depth frame is what one needs to set the right expectations, and sometimes it's vice versa. Sometimes that doesn't even accomplish anything. Sometimes you just have to push through regardless of how much energy you have and care for others and still love for others. Don't criticize others, instead teach them. Understand that everybody is not on your level of intellect and consciousness, so teach and bear with them, as it is not their fault that life did not lead them in the way of understanding and understanding self and all else. Wherever we go, we are influenced by the energies present. Whether we like it or not, energy can't die. It is only transferred, but you can transmute it. Resisting a certain energy only intensifies it. Allow it to flow, and then you will be able to transmute it with ease. That is what I would call gold. You know, man, that shit right there, you don't know how much that shit helped me in my life, man. And I really hope that me telling you guys that is gonna help you so much more. Truly, yo. I'm fucking excited now. Like now I'm getting my blood pumping now. I'm about to go hit the gym. I just got off work, right? I just got off work and I got my ass whooped at work, man. That shit was heavy, bro. I shoveled these fucking mountains of gravel, bro. Like, and like not on no bitch ass shit. I'm just shovel, dump, shovel, dump, shovel, dump. Steady pace, not going too fast, not going too slow. Steady pace, but never stopping. And that's how you should move in life. Don't move too slow, but don't get in a rush, alright? You gotta learn to be patient. You gotta learn to find your own pace. And then after a while, you'll find, alright, you can have different paces. And then you'll find out, okay, this moment requires this pace, this moment requires this pace. Okay, now I can change my speed whenever I want. Keep at it. Just keep striving to be better. I truly believe everyone watching these videos will come to the conclusions that will build an almost unreal sense of self-control. Just keep going for it, okay? You can't give up. You can't give up. Literally, you cannot give up. Once you give up, it's all over. And there's no point to giving up. You might look at it like, oh, like it's pointless. There's no hope. There's always hope. Hope is something you give yourself. It's not something you just randomly find. So give it to yourself. This video is long as fuck. I'm probably going to cut this down. I'm hoping to make it like 30 minutes. I'm at like a fucking 45 minutes right now. It was a nice talk. I hope this got you thinking. I hope it's pushing you in the right direction. You know it's funny. I definitely, before I made this video, I was like, damn, what the fuck am I going to talk about, right? Because I be feeling like I don't really be thinking like that. But then these camera turns on and I just start speaking and it's like, wow. Maybe I'm not as fucking like ignorant as I be thinking sometimes, you know? And it's like I've been telling you guys, it's a matter of you have to express yourself and you have to express the perceptions that you believe to be right. That not even believe, right? Don't operate from the mind when it comes to that, right? Believe, go from the soul. Really feel that shit in your soul. Fuck the ego. Stop feeling ego. Acknowledge your soul. Do you feel that shit in your soul? And I do. And I hope you do too. And if you don't, you will. So, it's been nice, guys. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's gonna do better. I hope everybody's acknowledging that they're blessed, because we all are in some way, shape, or form. But all right, guys, take it easy. Take it easy, but go hard. Take care.